Hello and welcome to Slay the Spire. The purpose of this video is for brand new players who've never really played this game before. I did a beginner video that kind of talked a little bit about the cards and basics on how the game plays. But the purpose of this video is to actually start a game from scratch, play with the first character all the way through the game, and to beat the game with this character. And we're going to talk about the choices that you make as far as where to go on the map, what cards to bring into your deck, how to use the merchant, what cards to play when fighting. We're going to talk about the different abilities of the enemies as we encounter them. So this is going to be really for players who've never played the game before, or maybe played it once or twice and just want to get a sense on how do I approach the game, how do I approach making the correct decisions. Because the beauty of Slay the Spire is that it's a game that teaches the player how to be better. You don't really get upgraded gear and various other things, to make yourself better, although you do unlock some cards. But really, as you play, you learn how to make better decisions. And that's what's really cool about this game is that as you play more, you learn how to make better decisions and you can get further and further along. We're going to be using this introduction profile here, so nothing's ever been played before. And we're going to just play with the first character, which is the red deck or Ironclad. Now, after I beat the game with Ironclad, I'm then going to do the same thing for the second character, which is the silent character. Then I'll be doing the same thing with the third character, which is Defect, and then finally with the fourth character. And each time, I'm actually going to start a brand new profile to beat it with a new character. And the reason being is that you actually, as you play, you do unlock cards, extra cards for these characters. And you might be, if you watch other gameplay or looking at guides or whatnot, you might see people using certain cards that you don't even have access to on your first time playing through. So I want to play as if you're, again, playing the character for the very first time. You don't have access to these cards. And then once I play through and beat the game with all the four characters, I'm going to revisit and do additional runs, again with brand new profiles for each of the characters. And I'll probably do 3 runs for each character. And the reason for the new runs is you never know what you're going to expect when you play the game. You don't know what cards you're going to come across. You don't know what relics you're going to come across. You don't know what events you're going to come across. And so, like the first time you play, you might get some really cool cards and think, hey, these work really well together. I want to use them going forward. But then when you play again, you might not see those cards at all for the entire game. And so then you're going to be forced to have to play with different cards that you've never seen before. And so the idea is hopefully by having 3 playthroughs with each character, we'll get a sense of the different cards that can be played, the cards that you might run into the first time you play these characters. Now, for this very first video, for the red character, I'm really going to spend a lot of time talking about the enemies and their abilities and really kind of going through my card choices and things of that nature. On subsequent playthroughs with other characters and other runs, I probably won't spend so much time with it because we'll have already gone through the basics. Anyway, before we get started, let's go to settings. Let's go to game settings. And what I want to do here is make sure that your long press confirmations is selected and we're going to do bigger text as well. This will just be a little bit easier for you to read. The long press confirmations is really important because it means that you won't accidentally select something that you didn't mean to. So this is a really nice feature to have. I really recommend playing with that, at least while you get used to playing the game. Let's go ahead and get started. You can see here that the only thing I can do is play, and then I don't have access to these characters yet. We only have access to Ironclad. Now the Ironclad character, he has 80 hit points, and his special ability is at the end of combat, he heals 6 hit points. Now that might not seem like a very good thing, but it's actually really good. It means that this is a very tanky character. It means that we can be a lot more aggressive playing them than we can with other characters. So let's go ahead and just get started. And so we're going to start at the very bottom. We need to work our way up through and then to the boss and then beat the boss. In the beginner video, the first in the series, I talk a little bit about what these icons mean and things of that nature. So what we want to do is we want to look for a path that gives us the most campfires and not hit any of the elites. The elites are little horned guys there. And this is because we're just getting used to playing the game. We don't know what those elites can do. We don't understand the abilities. So we're going to avoid them for now. Once you get comfortable with the game and how to play, I highly advise you to fight as many of these elites as possible. Because every time you fight an elite, you get a relic. And relics are really, really powerful, and you want to get as many of them as you can because it's going to make you stronger. So, but for these runs, all of these beginner runs, we're going to try to avoid the elites as much as possible. So, I'm looking for campfires. It'd be nice to get a merchant as well. Okay, so if I go, that's one campfire, two. I see 3 campfires if I go kind of right down the middle. And I can also get a merchant. So we're going to go down here. So I'll have 2 fights, a question mark, then a merchant. Let's go ahead and get started. Okay, this first enemy, you can always see what an enemy is going to do because of the icon over their head. So he's going to buff himself. What that means is he's not going to attack us. So we don't need to play any defensive cards. So we have 3 energy. And really quickly, let's look at our hand. We've got 5 attack, 4 defense, and then a attack that costs 2 energy that deals 8 damage and applies vulnerable. So in our draw pile, these are the cards we're going to get next. We're going to get 2 defense cards, a bash, and 2 strikes. Let's go ahead and attack, attack, and attack. That's all we can do. We're going to end our turn. You can see if I just tap the triangle, that little blue arrow there over in turn is popping up. This is what that long press confirmation does. It means that in order to actually end my turn, I've got to hold down the button. And that's good. You don't want to accidentally end your turn by accidentally hitting the button. So long press confirmation is nice. Okay, next. He's going to attack us for 6 points of damage. And he did this ritual. The ritual is at the end of its turn, gains 3 strength. What that means is that he's going to attack us for 6 points of damage. Then he's going to get 3 strength, which means the next turn he's going to hit us for 9 points. And then the turn after that, 12, and the turn after that, 15. So we want to kill him as quickly as possible because he's going to ramp up and get more powerful. Now, because we heal, this is our relic, our burning blood, we heal 6 hit points at the end of combat. We can actually get hit for 6 points of damage and then get completely healed, and we'll be fine. And that's actually what we're going to do. We're going to bash him here. We're going to use this 2-point bash to do 8 points of damage and apply 2 vulnerable. So if you go over him now, you can see that broken heart. That vulnerable means that he's going to receive 50% more damage for 2 turns. And by 2 turns, it means this current turn that we're in and next turn. Okay? So you can see here I've got the strike that's going to do 6 points of damage. Well, if I click on him, you'll see that it changes from 6 to 9. And what that means is really important. If an enemy is vulnerable, the base damage is not going to show on the card until you actually select the enemy. And then you can see that's like, oh, this enemy has vulnerable, so I'm going to change the number from 6 to 9. So it's really just important to keep that in mind. It's easy to forget sometimes that your attacks are going to do more damage when someone's vulnerable because you get so used to how much damage these cards do. So we're going to go ahead and hit him for 9 points of damage, and then we're going to take all of his, so he's going to hit us for 6. It'll be okay. As long as we draw 2 attack cards, we'll kill him next turn. So we're going to randomly get some cards. Here's our 2 strikes. So 1 will do 9, and then the last will kill him. Then we're going to heal our 6 hit points back, so we're back up to 80. So you always get gold, and you always get a chance to add a card. Sometimes you get an option to get a potion. In this case, we got a potion, Gambler's Brew, which allows us to discard any cards and then draw that many. And up here are our potions. We have 3 slots. So you can only carry 3 potions, but you can play them anytime, which is really nice, which makes potions rather powerful, because you don't have to wait for a card to come up. Okay, so we have Clothesline here, True Grit, and a Reckless Charge. So this Reckless Charge, it's 0 cost and it does 7 damage, so it's better than our Strike. But it does put this Daze card into our draw pile, which is just a bad card. I mean, it doesn't do anything, it doesn't hurt us, but it means that it's one less card we have to play with. So we're not going to go with that. Clothesline is nice. It applies 2 weak, which can be really good. But we're going to go with this True Grit. So this is a 1-point card that does 7 block. So by default, it's better than the Defend. But it also exhausts 1 card in our hand at random. And what the exhaust means is that it removes the card from that combat, so we won't draw it anymore. Now you might think like, why would I want to remove cards from my hand? So these strikes and defends are not very good. In fact, if we can get rid of all these strikes and defends, that would be fantastic. So when we play that True Grit, it gives us the opportunity to get rid of one of these cards here. And that's really good because as we play, we're going to add more cards that are better. And we want to get to our better cards as fast as possible. And the easiest way to get to our better cards is to not have these cards in our draw pile that get in the way of us getting to our good cards. So that's what the idea of this True Grit. It's going to give us defense, and it's going to hopefully help us get rid of some cards that we don't want. Also, we can end up with cursed cards and bad status cards like that Daze. Well, the True Grit can also get rid of those cards as well. So that way we don't have to go with them anymore. Okay, let's go ahead and do our next fight. And we've got Bash. Okay, so he's going to hit us for 11 points of damage. Now, you can see here that we're not going to be able to block all of it. We're only going to be able to block 5. So let's go ahead and do that. Okay, so we're going to take 6 points of damage. We could play our Gambler's Brew right now. And if we did that, we would draw all these defensive cards, right? But we're not going to do that. We'll go ahead and take the 6 points of damage. Also, it is important. We know next turn that we are going to probably get 3 to 4 defensive cards. So we don't have to worry about defense and taking damage next turn because we've got these 4 defensive cards. Let's go ahead and we have to make a decision here. Do I play the Bash, right, which is going to make him vulnerable for this turn and next, or do I do 2 strikes? The thing is, we know we're going to pull at least 1 strike, right? So that's going to be 9 points of damage because he'll be vulnerable. So the 9 plus the 8 is the 17 damage. If we play a strike now and we get just 1 strike, that'll be 12. And if we get 2, we get 18. So I know I'm guaranteed 17 points of damage if I play the Bash now. And next turn I'll either be able to do 12 or 18. I'm going to take the guaranteed 17 points of damage. So we'll do that. 8 damage, we'll take 6. And then next turn, we'll just see what he's going to do here. So he's going to attack us for 7. And we only have the 1 strike. So there we go. So we're going to play this. Okay, now I'm going to play this True Grit. It's going to randomly get rid of one of our cards. And it just got rid of a Defend. You can see now in the bottom right-hand corner on my R1, I've got this Defend that's been exhausted. And when I go to my R2, these are my discard. Right? These are the cards I played, the Bash and the True Grit. So now, this Defend, which is exhausted, is not in my draw pile, so I'm not going to draw it anymore. So now I've got a better chance of getting to my strikes and this True Grit, which are my better cards. I don't need to play this Defend. He's attacking me for 7, I got 7 defense, so I'm just going to go ahead and end my turn. You can spend the points if you want. The points don't carry over. Your energy points don't carry over. Okay, so he's going to hit me for 7 again. So I have to decide, how exactly do I want to play this? Well, I know I'm going to be getting 3 strikes next turn, right? Which means that I can do 27 points of damage to him if I make him vulnerable. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make him vulnerable. Okay. Then I play this True Grit. It's going to give me 7 block. It's just going to randomly exhaust the card, the strike. I'm not going to take any damage this turn. And I know next turn I'll be able to do the 27 points of damage, which will be just enough to kill him. So there's 9, 18, and now he dies. Okay, and then we're going to heal our 6 hit points. Remember, he took the 6 damage right at the beginning. So we're back at full health. we get to add a card, and we've got two really good ones here. Armament allows you to upgrade a card in your hand for the rest of combat. But at campfires, you can upgrade cards. And if we upgrade cards, it upgrades all cards in our hand for the rest of combat, which is nice. This Rampage can be a very high damage card here. It deals 8 points of damage, but then the next time you play it, it'll do 15. And then the time after that, 18. And if you upgrade it, it gets even stronger. It'll do 8 points of damage, then 16, then 24, and then 32, right? So you want to play this card a lot. And then Seeing Red is nice, especially if you upgrade it. It becomes a 0-cost card that just gives you 2 energy to play. So that's nice. Let's go ahead and go with this Rampage. You want high damage cards at the start, especially if you're going to be fighting elites. So we'll go ahead and play this Rampage. The other thing is we actually want to upgrade this True Grit, because when you upgrade it, it's no longer a random card that gets upgraded. You actually get to choose the card that you're going to get rid of, and it gives you 2 more block. So we will take the Rampage over the Armament, even though the Armament's really nice. Very nice. But we'll take the damage, and then with the True Grit, we'll be able to get to our Rampage even faster. So now you can see here, we don't want these strikes, right, that do 6 points of damage when we can do our Rampage that does 8 and gets stronger. Okay, let's go ahead and we'll have our first event. Okay, so we can remove a card from our deck and lose 7 hit points, right? This is totally worth it. It's really difficult to remove cards from your deck. And we want to get rid of our cards as fast as possible. So we're going to take the damage. Now we have to decide, what do we want to get rid of? Well, we've got these 5 strike cards. We've got these 4 defense. Our True Grit is a defensive card, and we're going to end up getting rid of more cards, exhausting them, right? So because we've got more attack, and we want to get to this Rampage, we want to use this Rampage here, well, let's go ahead and just get rid of a strike. Plus the red deck is very attack focused, so it's okay to get rid of bad attack cards. Okay, now we have a merchant, and we have 131 gold. Let's see what our options are. Ooh, okay. Got a lot of good options here. This is a power card that will always give us 3 block after we play it for every turn. Here's that Armaments card, right? That's a good defensive card. It also can upgrade everything to make everything better. And then we've also got some potions here. Like this here, this duplication potion might be one that you would get to play with the Rampage, because it would cause you to play it twice, and therefore it would like double the amount of bonus. If you played this, you'd do 8 damage and then 13 damage, and then it would be worth 18 the next time, right? So do 21 points of damage and be really strong for the next time you played it. So this is definitely something to consider. But what I'm going to do is we're going to go with this Armaments, right, card. So we've just added a card that's, that is a block card that's going to upgrade all of our other cards, right? And then I'm going to go ahead and get rid of another card. We've got just enough money to get rid of another card. So let's go ahead and pick a card. So now we just added another defensive card, right? So because we added another defensive card, let's go ahead and, well, we want to get to this Rampage more quickly. And if we play the True Grit, we could end up exhausting some more defense. Let's go ahead and just get rid of another strike. And then after this, we're going to start working on getting rid of our defense cards. Okay, so we're done there. Only have 9. Now you have to decide, do I want to fight or do I want a question mark here? The question mark could be good, it could be bad. We could lose energy or health or money, not energy, health or money. Take damage, lose max health. Or you can fight. Fight always means that you get money, which is nice. Do we have any other merchants if we go this route? We have another merchant. We've got 2 merchants up here. Okay. I'm actually going to go with the question mark here. and we'll just see what we get, if we get something good. Oh, this is really nice. We got very lucky. So essentially, we need to select a card. And the way this works, if you pick a common card, basically they don't like it. These spirits don't like it, and they just burn it. So they basically, just for free, we're going to be able to get rid of another card. So let's get rid of a defend here. So we're keeping our deck small. We only have 5 cards. Now we're going to go ahead and do a campfire. And we're going to smith. We don't need to rest because, you know, we've got plenty of health. So we're going to do this True Grit. So that way we can select the card we want. Let's do this question mark. Okay, so this just happens to be a fight. But we're going to upgrade our Rampage. And then we will play this guy. And we're going to attack him, so we'll be able to kill him next turn. And then we'll play this True Grit. And we're going to exhaust this defend. We'll kill him, we'll do a defend, and then we're going to activate his shield here so he won't have it next turn. And then we'll kill him. Okay. Another potion. Ooh. All 3 of these are good cards. Cleave will hit all enemies for 1 point. Hitting everything for 8 damage is nice. Thunderclap will make things vulnerable, which means that again we do 50% more damage. It hits all enemies as well. Does half the amount of damage. Pummel can be a really good card if mixed with other cards like Flex and cards that increase your strength. I'm a big fan of Thunderclap because it does hit everyone, and it does make everyone vulnerable, which then works really well with your Rampage. Okay. So this Fungi Beast here on death applies 2 vulnerable to us. So we have to figure out when's the best time to actually kill him, because when we do kill him, it's gonna make us take more damage. So let's see here. We'll play this to upgrade a defend. The defends are better for us right now because we're going to get a lot of damage from Rampage and Thunderclap. We'll play this defend. And then let's go ahead and just start working on this guy here. So he just hit us with a slime card, which means that this is in our discard pile. But when we reshuffle, this will be moved into our draw pile. Okay. So we have to decide, how do we want to play this? Let's play this Thunderclap. This is going to make everyone vulnerable. Then we'll play this Rampage. And then we'll play the Defend, and so we're going to take 4 points of damage. So we can only take 1 more point without having problems here. Okay, so now he just weakened us. So for one turn, we're going to take 25 less damage. Okay. They're going to hit us for 9 and 7, but look, we got this True Grit and this Defend here. So we're good. So we'll play this Thunderclap just to do some damage to him. We'll play the True Grit. We'll get rid of this defensive card. And we'll play this other defensive card. So the True Grit would have been nice if we'd had the Slime card in our deck, right? Because then we could have gotten rid of it. See, now would have been the nice time of the True Grit. Okay, so I can kill this guy here, right? And then we'll play this and then kill him. And we're going to heal fully. So nice, we're back up to 80. We've got another potion. We need to use a potion next turn. Because we only have 3 slots, and so if we think that we're going to take damage or something, we want to play our potions. Okay. All 3 of these are good cards. You'll notice these 2 cards here, they have a blue border. That makes them uncommon cards. So, and then the white border means these are common. So, the ethereal means if you don't use it, you'll lose it. So, this will go into your exhaust. This will basically exhaust once you play it, or I'm sorry, if you don't play it, it'll go into your exhaust. So basically, you have to use it or lose it. This is really nice. It makes everyone weak and vulnerable to everyone. If you upgrade it, it's for 5 turns. And then our Thunderclap, which I've already said is a good card. Taking a look at what we've got going on here. We're going to get a lot of damage from Rampage. This is actually a very difficult choice. To get one block, 10 block for 1 is nice. And we don't have a lot of energy right now for the Shockwave. So it's between Thunderclap and Ghostly Armor. And let's go with the defense here. We'll go with Ghostly Armor. Okay, let's take this route here, and we'll get a Pocketwatch. So this is interesting. If we can play only 3 cards or less, we get more card draw the next turn. This will be really good with Rampage, because again, we want to play that Rampage over and over again, so it gets better and better. Oh, look at this. We got lucky. An event, we got another chest. Oh, this is great. So we get, just by default, we're going to get 18 block on our 3rd turn. So now we've got 37 gold, which is not enough to do anything with. So let's go ahead and do our 2 fights. So that way we might have enough gold when we get the next merchant up there. Okay, this Ghost Armor is already going to come into play. So you can always, so our armament, we're going to be able to upgrade a card. You can always go into your hand. I hit L1 to look at my deck, and you can see what the upgrade will be. This will increase the block by 3. You know, this will increase the damage, things of that nature. Let's go ahead and play the upgrade. And we're going to upgrade this Defend card. And then again, this is use it or lose it. So we want to use it. Otherwise, we won't be able to use it anymore. And then we'll just do 7 points of damage. We don't need this Defend. But now it's upgraded for when it does come into our hand. Okay. Because we only played the 3 cards, remember this Pocketwatch here, now we've got a lot more options for things. So, I'm going to take a little bit of damage here, but I want to do a Thunderclap. Make him vulnerable. Then we'll do the Rampage. And then we're going to play this True Grit. It's a better card. And we're going to go get rid of the Strike here. So I'm going to take 1 point of damage. But you can see my Pocketwatch is at 3, which means next turn I'm going to draw 8 cards again. This Pocketwatch is going to be very nice for us. Which means I have a chance to draw the Rampage again. which I did. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to play this Armaments card. And we're going to upgrade Rampage, so it's going to do even more damage. Now I'm going to play the Thunderclap to make him vulnerable. And then we're going to hit him for 19 points of damage. You can see my Pocketwatch is at 3. I'm going to go ahead and end my turn. So this Ghost Armor is going to become exhausted here. You're going to see it. See here, my exhaust pile. I can't use it anymore. That's fine. All I need to do is 8 points of damage. And I can easily do that with this Rampage. In fact, we'll do this Thunderclap here. And you can see now this guy's going to hit for 31 points of damage for 1 energy. Very nice. Cool, we get healed. Here's our money back. We didn't need to use a potion. And then we've got options here. Okay. So, disarm. Disarm means that this is the damage that the enemies will do. So if they're going to hit you for 6 points of damage, now they're only going to hit you for 4. Right? Because they're going to lose 2 strength. This is nice. Firebreathing, though, can be a really nice card, especially when you're playing with enemies that do status cards. Because that means that whenever you pull a status card, you're going to do 6 damage to everyone. Remember how we had that card where it would bring a dazed into our draw? Well, having fire breathing means that dazed popped up. All the enemies would take 6 points of damage. So this is a nice power card to have. Really, really good to have, especially later on when you fight enemies that do, lots of bad things. Also means that curse cards are not as bad, because if a curse card comes up, you'll still be able to do damage due to this power. Let's go ahead and take this. And these guys here are not going to do any status cards, so that's not all that great. We'll play the Ghostly Armor, so that way we don't lose it. And then we'll just go ahead and start working on this guy. He's going to make himself a little bit more powerful, so let's start working on him first. And then I've got enough defense, I don't need to spend any more points. So now he's made himself 3. He increased his strength by 3. So now he's going to do a lot more damage. So this fire breathing is not going to be a good card for us because they're not going to do any status cards to us or anything of that nature. So I'm going to play this True Grit. We're going to get rid of this fire breathing card. So now we don't have to worry about it anymore. It's not going to be in our hand, in our draw anymore. Then let's go ahead and I can either make them vulnerable, right? Or I can make my Rampage stronger. Let's go ahead and we'll make our Rampage stronger for next turn. So now this will be a 16 point damage card next time we get it. And my Pocketwatch is at 3, so that means that I will draw 8 cards. So I've got a 66% chance of being able to draw Rampage again. And I have, because of my Captain's Will, I have 18 luck right off the bat. I didn't draw my Rampage. That is a shame. So what we're going to do is so that means I'm going to get Rampage next turn, as well as True Grit. So let's go ahead and we'll do Armament on the Thunderclap, which is going to make it do 3 more additional damage. Okay, we'll play this. And then we don't need to get any more defense. But if I kill that guy, then I'm going to get vulnerable. But it'll be okay, because I have plenty of defenses. So we're going to kill him. You can see now he's going to hit me for 13 points of damage. But it's fine, I've got the 23. And then I've got a Bash and a Rampage. So he will die. And I'm going to hit him for 24. Okay, didn't take any more damage. I didn't use a potion, I didn't need to. So we're fine. Okay. So, Perfected Strike is good if you have a lot of strikes. But we don't, so we don't want that card. So it's between Rage and Reaper. You can see Reaper's gold border, so these are you know, the best cards here. So you have a common, uncommon, and then our best, the gold bordered. So this one is going to basically keep your health up, right? So when you play it, it exhausts. You can only play it one time per combat, but you can heal based on the damage that you do. It's equal to your unblocked damage. So that's really nice, but it's a 2-cost card. You know, and we don't really have problems right now with taking damage. This Rage here, it's a 0-cost card, and whenever you play attacks, you gain block. So just by default, you're going to be able to get defense by playing attack cards, which is actually really nice. It means that we can get rid of these defends because they're even less important. So even though this is actually a really nice card and it's going to keep our health topped up, I don't think we're going to need it. I really like the deck we've got going here. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to go with this Rage instead. So now I have to decide, do I want 2 campfires or do I want a merchant? We still don't have very much money. We only have 65. So I'm going to go this direction so that way we can get 2 campfires so we can upgrade some more stuff. So what are we going to upgrade? Well, let's go ahead and upgrade our Rampage. All right. So now it's always going to be good. And then let's go ahead and we'll do a fight. Okay, so we've seen both of these guys here. If we kill this guy first, then we get vulnerable, and if we hit him, he's going to get 6 defense. Okay, so let's play this Rage. So anytime we play an attack, we're going to get 3 defense. We'll play this True Grit. And let's get rid of the defend here. Okay, so I've got 9 defense. When I play this attack, I'm going to get 3 more defense. So let's go ahead and... who do we want to make vulnerable? We'll make him vulnerable, so he'll be easy to kill next turn. And there you have it. I got my 3 defense from the Rage without having to spend any points on it, so I don't take any damage. Firebreathing. Not, again, these guys are not going to be doing anything to us, so we don't need this card right now. Let's go ahead and play the Rampage. Okay, let's play the Strike to kill him. Then we'll play the Rampage to do damage. And then, do I want to... let's just play the Ghostly Armor, just so that way we can keep it in our... in case we need it next turn. Again, because we only played 3 cards, we're going to get to draw 5 that you normally get, plus the 3 extra. And now we're fine. So we're going to play this Rage first. You can see I already have 18 block due to the Captain's Will. But when I play this Thunderclap, I'm going to get 3 more block. So you get 21. And then we'll kill him. Easy, easy. Okay. So, Clothesline, Twin Strike, and Searing. Searing Red can be nice. Again, it's a 0-cost card that can give you energy if we upgrade it. And we're going to upgrade our Armaments card, which will upgrade a card, all the cards in our hand. So this Searing Red could actually be nice to give us the bump of energy when we need, especially if we have armament there. So let's go ahead and pick up this guy. And now we're going to go and smith. We're at full health, and we're going to smith this armament. So now we're going to get 5 block, and all cards in our hand are going to get upgraded. So that's really nice. And now we'll fight the boss. Okay, so let's take a look at this boss here. You can see here he has this thing called Mode Shift. After receiving 30 damage, changes to a defensive mode. So what we want to do is we want to get him down 30 points as quickly as possible. We'll play this Rampage. We'll play this Strike. And then we have 1 extra energy. We don't need to defend. We don't need the energy. Let's go ahead and just play this power card. And by doing it, you'll notice it doesn't go into our discard pile. See, it's not here. A power card, now if I look at myself, whenever we draw a status or curse card, we deal 6 damage. he's not going to be doing any status stuff to us, so this guy doesn't help us. In fact, Firebreathing is really not very helpful at all in Act 1, unless you get a different boss, the slime boss. But it'll be really, really helpful in later acts. So that's all we can do. We played 3 cards, now we're going to get 8 cards next turn. And you can see his mode shift now is at 16. So we need to do 16 damage plus Breakage Shield. So we have to do 25 points of damage. So let's figure out how we want to do this. He's going to be attacking us for 32 points of damage here. So can we do 25 points of damage with 3 energy? The answer is no, we can't. So what that means is instead we want to defend ourselves as best as possible. So we're going to play the Armaments, right, which is going to upgrade all of our cards, make them all better for the rest of combat. Okay. Then we're going to play this True Grit, and we'll get rid of a Strike here. And then we'll play this Ghost Armor because we don't want to lose it. Okay. So we're going to take 5 points of damage. Now, here's really important. I don't think I mentioned this at the beginning. Whenever you beat the boss, you get all your health back for the next act. So if we beat this boss with 1 hit point left, when we start Act 2, we'll be at 80 health again. So you don't need to worry about taking damage on the boss, you just need to worry about killing him. Okay, so we have this Rage here. Unfortunately, he's not going to be attacking us, so we don't really need the defense. But I do want to upgrade our cards. So I'm going to play this Armament just to upgrade the cards that are in my hand. Then we're going to play the Thunderclap to make him vulnerable. And then we're going to play the Rampage to do even more damage. Now he's in defensive mode here. And I'm going to get 8 cards next turn. I only have a couple cards left that are not fully upgraded. I think I've got 2. Cool. So let's go ahead and play the Armaments. So now that my Scene Red will be a 0-cost card. Then we're going to play the Ghostly Armor because we don't want to lose it. Now I have to decide, what do I want to do? He's got this thing now called Sharp Hide. So whenever I attack him, I'm going to take 3 points of damage. So I could play the Scene Red now, but I don't need to. So I'm just going to attack him 1 time. I'll take 3 points of damage, but I'm going to do 24 to him. And I still have enough defense here to survive his 9 damage. And I'm going to get to draw 8 cards again. What's really cool is, so let's see, I want to make sure that I'm going to play this True Grit, and we're going to get rid of a different. And that's all I'm going to do. So I'm going to play this Rage, now I'm going to get blocked for all of my attacks. I'm going to play this Scene Red, actually play the Thunderclap. We're going to do 48 points of damage to him. And then we're going to play 1 more card, because I don't want to lose this one. But because of that, we're only going to draw 5 cards next turn. We're going to play the True Grit. We're going to get rid of a Defend. And then we're going to play this Rage. And then when we play this, he's going to be vulnerable for 3 turns. this will be it. We'll play our Rage, play our Thunderclap, and then we'll kill him with the Rampage. And we'll take the Essence of Skill. Okay. All of these are good cards. The Fire Fiend can be nice to get rid of, again, cards you don't want. The Berserk, if you upgrade it, you're vulnerable for one turn, but then you get more energy going forward. And Brutality is nice for your card draw. But we don't really need the card draw if we're not playing a lot of cards because of Pocketwatch. At the same time, if we have more energy, we're going to play more cards, which is going to make Pocketwatch not as good. So we're going to go ahead and let's take this Brutality. It's going to give us more card draw so we can get to our Rampage faster. Okay, so here's our deck at the end of Act 1. 3 strikes, 3 defends. Our Rampage is our big damage dealer. We're now set up to not be hurt by status cards anymore. We're going to have good card draw due to Brutality and Pocketwatch. And we can get rid of our bad cards through True Grit, and we can upgrade everything through Armament. And we can have some extra energy when we need it from the Seam Red. So a very, very nice looking deck. I hope that this helps you kind of see a way to play this character, and we'll continue on Act 2 in the next video. Until then, I hope that you are enjoying yourself as you slay the Spire.